All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another real estate wholesaling analysis series. This is episode 47. I'm your host, Elton Vargas. Welcome again to this beautiful, ugly Sunday in Southern California, where we're going to be doing some real estate analysis. I hope you guys are going to be enjoying your long weekend. If you guys are doing anything by any chance, if you're not, then I hope you're like studying or taking action in your real estate journey. If you happen to be doing anything related to real estate at all whatsoever. If you happen to be new here, welcome to one of our episodes where this series gets hosted every Sunday and Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we analyze some real estate deals. I'll walk through a quick presentation of just touching some basic stuff in terms of like real estate overall, get that real estate language involved in there. And then right afterwards, we go into some real estate analysis. I can select any random city um, in the United States, or if any requests are out there from any addresses, any counties, by all means, drop them in the chat so that way we can go through any of those requests at all whatsoever. Afterwards, we're gonna go through a quick Q&A if you happen to be having any specific questions related to like real estate or real estate wholesaling overall. And then if there's enough people left and then there's enough time as well too, we're gonna go through a breakout room where you guys are gonna be able to network. And so with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So first things first, the first thing about real estate wholesaling and what this series is mainly about is there's a series of steps in real estate wholesaling, from getting the property, negotiating contract, getting the property in contract, marketing, and the assignment of contract. But the one that we mainly touch basis on is going to be going through the analysis part, or the analysis paralysis, which a lot of wholesalers get stuck into, and also how to bring like your offer into like the table where it makes sense for both for your seller, aka the homeowner, and also your investor as well too, because you're also going to be negotiating with your investors if it happens to be a little bit of a negotiable deal. So the very first thing we have to understand in the steps of analyzing a single deal, it comes down from the this word over here, ARV, or after repair value. And basically what it stands for, the word says it, it's what the property is worth once it gets fully fixed up and put out in the market once again. When it comes to the ARV, it is basically understanding and knowing what your market it is that you're doing like a lot of your deals in. You have to understand how much properties are selling for in that area. It could be from 1,000 to 1,300 square feet. It could be the size of the property, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. So the more you get to understand what your market, the faster you're going to be able to find out what the ARV is. Of course, from time to time or once a month, I recommend reanalyzing to make sure that your numbers are still up to par. If they change up in an uptrend, or they changing in a downtrend, because they're reflecting on the market rates as well too. Now, the way a lot of investors calculate a lot of the deals, which I have three examples over here, and it's very different from one another. All investors calculate their deals very, very differently. So it is essential for you to find out how a lot of your buyers slash investors calculate their deals, because when they calculate their offers, they're going to do their due diligence, but they have a specific route, they have a specific thing that they like to do, which makes them know where exactly they need to be at, because over time, after doing multiple deals, they get a chance to understand how to come up with their best offer. If they want to do cash, they want to finance, if they just want to go through a regular financing route. So it really depends on what it is, but understanding their strategies and their the way they calculate their offers, it is really good for you to find out, because again, not all investors are going to be doing the same thing overall. Next, after the ARV, of course, we have to understand the repairs if needed on a property. From time to time, it's not really needed, because sometimes you can do a creative deal as well too. But when it comes to properties that do need some type of repairs, because maybe the investor only likes fixing and flipping deals, then we're going to be sticking to these average price per square foot repairs. These repairs are going to be very standard unless you happen to be living in expensive cities like or states like California is one of those expensive states, New York, Florida, getting up there. I'll definitely say, but nothing too crazy. Washington and a bunch of other cities and states as well too, where again it's gonna be really expensive. What I recommend is adding $15 to $20 per square foot um on those cities and also counties, metros, areas, and markets overall as well too. If you happen to be living on any of those or doing a lot of deals on those areas that are very expensive. But look into repairs. Light repairs are going to be $10 to $20 per square foot. These are going to be very minimal work on properties that are pretty much being rented out, or the seller slash homeowner really took care of the property overall, and just the property needs really minor touches. Next is going to be average repairs. This is where we start getting into like those fix and flip projects overall, and we start doing work on major areas like the kitchen, the flooring, the bathroom, painting, lighting, maybe the roof, maybe some landscaping as well too, possibly doors, windows, little details along the way, appliances as well too. So just overall, again, it's going to be a bigger project type of property that we're going to be looking into. The more you start listing out, it just really depends. But the next one, what's different from a gut job and average repairs is a gut job is pretty much two options. You either go to demolish the entire property and start all over again with kind of like new frame for a house and redesigning like the framing of the house and the layout with or what you can do is just take down all the walls, leave the frames and the studs, and then just start working from there. But this is going to be pretty much a full gut up type of property where pretty much everything is going to get ripped out. And then from time to time, you are going to come across other major expenses, like maybe like the foundation, or maybe some piping as well too. So it really depends on how big that gut job is. But again, it's going to be very expensive and it's going to take a little bit longer for that fixing and flipping side as well too. Now, whenever we have to look into a property, we definitely want to look at comps or comparables, so aka similar properties in the neighborhood that are the same as our subject property. And but whenever we're looking at comparables, we definitely have to make some restrictions and or some stick to some parameters when looking at those comps, because when we're looking at those comps, we pretty much have to look at identical properties within the neighborhood. So the first one is definitely the living space. The living space has to be plus or minus 300 square feet on the living space. Next is the lot size. This will vary from time to time. If you happen to be looking at a property that it's more of an acre type of property. So if a quarter of an acre, half an acre, 1, 2, 3, 5 acres, you definitely want to analyze the lot size from there. And again, the major part that I was mentioning on this is we'll look at those comp parameters is stick within the neighborhood. And that's what this radius is about, is stick within a half-mile to 1 mile radius looking for comps, because whenever an appraiser looks into a property that is getting fixed up and for it to get appraised, they're going to be looking at similar properties as well too, but they're going to stick within the same neighborhood. So they're not going to cross major roads or double yellow line roads to look at a whole different comp at all whatsoever. They're always going to stick to the same neighborhood overall. Additionally, too, looking to make sure that the property is within the same years. You don't want to compare a brand new 2024 built home to a 1930s home, because the materials, the regulations, everything are very different from one another. So it's really, you want to make sure that you're looking at comps within the same year. And looking into comps, you want to find at least 3 to 5 comps. You can have a mix. I put updated. Those are definitely always the best. But when it comes to it's always on a case by case basis, where sometimes you're not going to come across updated properties, but you are going to come across a lot of sold properties that haven't been really fixed up and flipped at all whatsoever. So you're able to you should be looking at properties that are for sale at the moment. You want to look at, because that's looking at the future time frame. You want to look at properties that are pending or in the contract, so that way you can get an understanding what's actually selling or what's being bought at the moment, or what the market is reacting to at the moment. And of course, what has sold in the past tells you what has happened in the past. or recently in the past. But still, those three time frames are really good to look into like some those properties. Now, when it comes to analyzing some deals, when it comes to analyzing some deals, it's always good. And I'm an over analyzer. This is just from my personal experience. And I just think about each single property that is out there as an opportunity for many strategies. When it comes to like different strategies in terms of like wholesaling, the numbers are going to be very different. So whenever I look for a property, I like to, it doesn't matter how expensive it is, I like to look at it just because you never know what strategy will work best. Some of those strategies are the following. You can go through a traditional wholesaling strategy. You can do a wholesale strategy. You can do like a fix and flip analysis. You can do a buy and hold analysis. You can do a seller finance analysis. So having different strategies, the numbers are going to be very different from one another. And that's the thing is whenever I'm looking at a single property, I'm thinking in my head of all these different opportunities as well too. I'm not just restricting myself to just one wholesaling deal at all whatsoever. There's so many things that you're able to do, but it takes time to learn multiple strategies. So whenever I analyze a deal, I think about all these strategies at all whatsoever, because wholesaling is going to be really quick. Wholesaling is going to be more of getting somebody else to finance it for you, so that way you can sell it for more. Fix and flip pretty much it says it all. You're going to be fixing and flipping, but it is going to be a little bit riskier because the time frame and also depending on how the market reacts at the time that the property is going to be flipped or being resold again. Buying and holding, that's the best taxes benefit, and seller finance, that's a great creative route to take. Not just seller finance, but there's all other more other types of creative finances as well too. So with that being said, let's just jump into some deals and let's see what we're able to find out there at all whatsoever. So let me stop sharing this. Let me move that out the way. All right, here we go. So let's head over here. Oh, what's that the chat? Oh, here we go. I was like, why is this thing not popping up? And let's head over here. Desktop one. Awesome. All right, cool. And let me pull this thing out so that way we can look for some. All right, there. All right, let's see where we land today. Where are we going to land? Where are we going to land? We landed in, oh, we did Patterson a couple weeks ago, or like 2 weeks ago. Let's see. Sure, let's do Corona, California. I haven't done Corona, California. And where am I heading? Oh, Zillow. Oh, I'm already here. So Corona, California, whenever I look into like a city, I don't look into the city specifically. I like to look into the county. The county is going to give me in what county? Riverside. All right, Riverside. Riverside County. I always like to look at the whole county overall just because I want to look at maximize of that whole area because some cities are very small from one another and um it's just really tiny. I don't have really a spectrum to like seeing what's gonna be like if it's gonna be worth like the deal at all whatsoever. But let's look into here. So we got Riverside County, but we have Corona as our city. So first things first is we have to go through the CRM. So step number one is part of a CRM that I designed is step number one, know your markets. Analyze like your market. And let me, oh man, looks like I gotta delete some of these. So let's delete this. Shabam. All right, here we go. Riverside County. But what I like to do is first things first, I need to understand my market. I live here in Southern California, but I actually don't look into like Riverside. It's just way too far from my area at all whatsoever. So I haven't looked into Riverside County at all. So my first step is if I'm starting into a brand new market and if I'm trying to analyze a brand new market, trying to understand how if there's opportunities here or what's going on, First, I want to understand how much a property is going for, what potential they have, where should my offers be lined up for. What I like to do is Zillow. Oh, where's that? Why is this thing hiding? Oh, right here. Zillow does the homework for me. Same thing for Redfin. It does their homework. The numbers are gonna be very different from one another. But what I like to do is I like to head over to this bottom section where it says nearby side county cities. And where is what was our city? What was our city? Our city was Corona. So I'm looking for Corona over here. Oh, no Corona. All right, let's see. Um, Corona. Let me start all over again because for some reason Corona didn't pop up there. Corona, California. And here we go. Now, if I'm looking just in the city, you see, this is what I'm talking about. It's just gonna be like the smaller city. But you know, it's pretty big. So actually, I like it. We have 305 results. So let's go through here. And same thing, like I said, it's gonna give us our nearby cities over here in case we want to look at any other cities. And I'm gonna highlight all of these because this is the homework that I'm talking about that Zillow already did for me. And then I'm gonna head over here. I'm gonna edit, paste special, and just the values. And then bam. So right here on the left side, I have my potential ARV. And what this basically means are like all these numbers, it's a mix of both the properties that have been getting fixed up and flipped to the properties that are not have not been fixed and flipped at all whatsoever. So it's a mix of both of those. So it's telling you like the potential the properties in Corona, California can potentially sell for $764,000. But what am I doing with that information? So whenever I come across a property in Corona, what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be asking myself, can this property sell for $764,000? And that's where I have to look for comps and look where those comps are selling. Are they selling close to 764 or are they selling for less or are they selling for more? So that's all the thing I have to really confirm. But depending on the strategy, if I'm looking to like fix and flip, I'm gonna select 70%. If I'm trying to buy and hold, it's gonna be like 80%. So I'm gonna go with like, let me look for some fix and flip deals. So based out of here, I gotta look for properties that are worth less than $535,000 to see if there's any good opportunities at all whatsoever. So that's based on the strategy. So if I multiply that number, if I'm basically what it's doing is multiplying where's that? Corona is multiplying 764 times 70%, and it's going to give me 534. If you guys don't believe it, so it's going to be $764,000 minus 30%. It's going to give you $534,000. Simple as that. I'm not adding repairs. I'm not adding any of that. I'm just trying to see like I'm trying to get like a discount. Try to buy it at 70 cents on the dollar off the bat. So let me set that price point and see if we're able to find anything. If there's nothing, then that's what I like to look at the bigger spectrum. And so far, it went from 300 results down to 58 results. And look at that. Some of them have price reductions. If there's price reductions on properties, that means that either the seller's motivated, the property has been sitting for too long, and or it's a mix of both. So let's check it out. Like off the bat, this is a really great property. It looks like this is like a condo as well too. It's only been on the market for like 17 days, but I'm not looking for condos. I'm looking for houses. And how many houses I have out of all of them? Just one. I thought this was a condo. It said unit C. That's not a house. There's a HOA involved. Available soon. What about this one? What's going on? Nothing yet. So you see, this is why I don't like to stick to cities. I like to go in the whole county because that's what I want to look. And then if you go scroll down into the whole county, where am I? Where am I? Right over here at the bottom section, it analyzes the whole county. So the whole county, the average price of a property is $1.1 million. So I should be looking for properties worth $700,000 and less. So let me go back to Zillow and restart all over again and go back to that county, Riverside County. And again, I already know the price point, so $700,000. Let's look for properties worth $700,000. Bam, there we go. And then I'm looking at homes. Um, yeah, select the houses, and then from houses, I don't want anything coming soon. I want properties that are at least 1,000 square feet because I noticed properties with between 1,000 to like 1,400 sell the quickest. Um, Additionally to what else am I looking for? Oh, HOAs. I don't want any HOAs because usually HOAs, there's a lot of regulations and there's a lot of stuff going on. So I have a total of 1,277 results. And of course, from here, I'm gonna go from the lowest to the highest. Because again, I'm looking based out of this. Potentially, depending on what city it is that the property or we're going to be looking into, depending on what city it's located at, then we got to be looking into that city. So off the bat, there's this property. This looks like a church. I'm not looking for a church. And this one, it's a house, 416. Where's it located though? That's the thing. I don't want anything rural. I want something close to like suburban. So I see this is like way too far out. Some of these um selling for like 199. Like, where's this one located at? See, 175, 200. What about this one? So I'm gonna set a limit of like $200,000 at least as well too. So that way I don't get like anything like too small. And here we go. We have this one. Again, that's heading over towards where's this? I don't even know what city this is. Blythe. So it's just way too far out there. So I'm trying to get something closer over here. So here, let me zoom into like this area instead. There you go. Let's block that one off. So the smallest, the cheapest one, we have $250,000 right over here, like in some mountains. We have this one close to Salton Sea, close to some water. That's not bad. It was uploaded 20 hours ago. We have this one in Thousand Palms. Let's check it out. This one has been on the market for 230 days. So $275,000. There's no internal pictures. Is there a good description from the agent? Investors property started, one car, fence. Okay. So usually properties that have very little details, it's like I really don't like those. We have this one, 17 days, 115, same thing. Um, Desert Hot Springs. This has some internal pictures, but this property looks already updated. Nothing too crazy, just little touches here and there, maybe like some painting and some other things along the way. I don't know what that is. This looks very deserted type of home. Oh, does this have an ADU? Does this have an ADU? Opportunity not great home, hop, okay, but property has 4 bedrooms. Um, and it was divided by Property has 4 bedrooms and was divided by a wall into 1 bedroom, 1 bath apartment. The main house is three. Seller just recently installed a new AC system, remodeled the kitchen, bathrooms, and lemon. Okay. And so the seller just invested like so much money, so they're financially invested into like the deal. And usually when they're financially invested, they want to make their money back. Here we have Coachella area. Oh, here we go. Coachella, California property, 221 per square foot. Okay. Really good. This is a good fix and flip type of property. How much a property is going for in Coachella? If we're able to find nothing. Chino Hills. Silverado. Okay, so we'll go back to it and see what we're able to find over here. But this looks really good. 6 bedroom, 1,400 square feet home. Okay, so this looks like a complete fix and flip property, not a gotcha, maybe a gotcha property. Because I think we have to take some of these walls down because I don't know what happened. It looks like there's like a flood or something. But yeah, I think this will have to be like close to like that gotcha property. So it'll be $45 per square foot. It is here in California, so I have to definitely add $20 more per square foot. So it'll be 65 times the 1450. So it'll be $95,000 worth of repairs. Okay. So let me go through the calculator. So let's look at the numbers. So this is where the analysis starts coming in. First things first, let me duplicate this so that way I can find a property. I can start doing some comps and let's see what I'm able to find out so far. But the other thing too, I gotta find out how much properties sell for in Coachella. So I'm actually gonna use Coachella, California. I'm gonna use Redfin. Go down through here and see how much properties sell for here in this area and where are they at? Where's it at? Oh, past it. All right, cool. Um, why is not? Oh, medium home price for 430. 430 is the average price point for a property in Coachella. So let's go through here. So they're asking how much one more time? 39. Ooh, that's already up there. 319,900. The square footage is 1450. Okay, so 1450. Awesome. There's no basement. Um, the properties could be it's $45 per square foot plus the 20, so it's gonna be 65. So again, almost $95,000 worth of repairs. I want my 20% profit on this deal, so I need to resell the property for 535. So far, it's telling me that the property sell for 430. So now that's what I have to do. That's what we have to investigate. Can the property sell for 430? And where's that subject property located? This one right here, right over here. Bam. Okay, so let's check it out. So let me remove all of these filters. I'm gonna look for, I definitely gotta set up the square footage. So the square footage is 1450, so 1,000, and then basically 1800 or 1750. Awesome. I gotta look for houses as well too. Cool. So here we go. Here's our subject property. Additionally too, let's off the bat, let me see what I'm able to find. So this is what's going on for sale at the moment. So this is 1450 square foot home, 1630, 499. Okay. See, this is um this is a really good Cesar Chavez Street. I don't know if Cesar Chavez Street is this like a busy street? Here's our subject property once again, but I need to go through Street Viewer to make sure that I'm able to cross some of these roads because if there's like a major road right here, then I can pull the comps, but I have to make some price adjustments. Yeah, there's gonna be a major road right over here because it looks like it's like a yeah, we got a lot of traffic just flowing right here. So this is going to be a major road. So we definitely got to stick within this square. And how about 52nd Street? I got a feeling it's going to be, or 52nd Avenue is going to be a busy road as well too, because there's like an off ramp. Um, Somewhat busy. We got quite a few cars down there as well too. So somewhat busy. Is there another one? No. So yeah, our subject property is right over here. So we definitely have to, oh, let me move this out the way. We definitely have to stick within our square. Like I said, I am able to go beyond it, but the thing is, once I start crossing like this right over here, I'm making a price adjustment, honestly. And how long has this property been sitting on the market for? This has been sitting on the market for 6 days. But if you look at it, it's a great comp at all whatsoever. Is there an HOA on this? No, okay, no HOA. That's the only thing because I see that the properties look very similar from one another. But the internally great flooring, they just left a tile on, not a granite countertop, it's just like that plastic one. But great paint. It's just like a homeowner that's been living there, but it's just like in great shape overall. Again, it's a family owned, so it's gonna be like all this stuff going on, but really well, and it's within our square footage as well too. But again, I definitely have to do a price adjustment. Um, I'll do like $20,000 off, um, from the price point, just Actually, I'll go with like my regular 10 to $15,000. I'll go play it safe. I'll play it safe, divided by 1693. That puts it at 285 per square foot. Okay, so let me pull some comps off the bat. So I have this one, 285 per square foot property. So that's one of my comps so far. Um, Now let me look at by pressing this button, pending on the contract. Let me see if there's anything else going on over here. Nothing else, nothing under contract at the moment. Or is it still loading? Come on. Come on, don't fail on me. I see that there's brand new construction properties going over here, and this is good because that means we're in a good, thriving neighborhood, especially Coachella area. I mean, it benefits the developers overall because look how much they're selling these properties for, 500, 600. So if those properties sell, then that's what's going to drive some of all these neighborhoods. Is going to drive the prices. Um, of all those properties up. But of course, it's going to take some time because they're just brand new building. But the thing with those properties, once this thing decides to load up, is definitely going to be like all these properties, again, these are brand new construction homes. They're probably going to be 2023, 2024. Oh, 2019. Okay, but yeah, it's a huge difference. But these are probably going to be HOA properties, and again, they're going to be more regulated, but the prices are going to be a lot bigger, and that's because again of that HOA section as well too. So there's nothing under contract, or I think there is. Is this under contract? Oh, there is this one, 1401, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. This is under contract at the moment, so that's a comp, but this is selling at $400,000, so close to what we're talking about earlier, that our price point is going to be based on Coachella, properties in Coachella area sell for 430. So yeah, we're within our price point there. Um, so that's under contract. We have this 420. This is pending. It's a little bit smaller as well too. Let's see. So this is a little bit smaller. What's the inside looking like? Why does it look so tiny? Okay. So cabinets, they didn't do flooring. They leave that tile. I think it's just because it's hot out there, so the tile doesn't it keeps it cool inside the property. It looks like they did some landscaping on the outside. Maybe did like a fence as well too. So pretty much somewhat updated. What's the price? This is on the contract at the moment, and this is selling at 318 per square foot. So let me use this one, 318. Okay. We're not close to our 430 price point, but let's go back and let's see what has actually sold. So we have two under contract. We have new construction in the area. So there's potential over here. It's the thing is how much can our property sell for, or what would our property sell for to make it like a deal and bring that deal over. So now let me look at properties that have sold. So looking at properties that have sold in the last 6 months. Let's see what we're able to get. And then at least we have some in our neighborhood. So that's good. Let me stick to these right over here. All right, let me go for the newest one. Is our property 2 levels? No, our property is 1 level. So you got to make sure that we stick to 1 level properties. This one sold for 326. Doesn't look too updated. This one sold for 460, but there's no pictures. Let me go through realtor.com and see if there's any pictures. Realtor.com usually keeps pictures for like a while for some reason. So let me see if I'm able to find this property. Was it this one? No, this is only 1 level. Del Prad. It's definitely not this one. Why did they give me like multiple options of the same address? What was it? 218, 218. Oh, that is a property. But why is it showing like a 2 level home? What? That is so weird. Why is it showing a two-level home there, but then it's a one-level home here? I don't know. Oh, there. What the same properties over here, but why is there two different pictures? These are two different properties. This is not the same neighborhood. I don't know who put this over here on this one or what's going on over here, but so we can't pull that one. That's two-level property. I gotta stick to one level. So we have this one for one level. This one has some pictures. Let me go through one more time through Realtor, see if I can maybe able to find something there. But this is the thing is looking for comps. This is the necessity of it to make sure that we're getting our numbers properly. The thing is, before making some numbers, yeah, it's really good because there are properties on the market with an agent. It's always best to just make the call before you start analyzing. So if you start analyzing and you're not able to get the deal, you just wasted like 30 minutes analyzing it. I'm just trying to show you guys what I'm looking for, like whenever if I'm analyzing. But my first step will be to get in touch with the agent or to try to get in touch with the agent or whoever the homeowner is to get the story of what's actually happening with this. There's no properties and there's no pictures on that one. Uh, but that one looks more updated than all of these, honestly. What about this one? No, this is a homeowner. Nothing too crazy with that one. It is selling for 330. And this is pushing it towards like December. This will be like the best comp, but 1320 in the square footage. How much did it sell for? Unavailable. So 395 divided by 1320 on the square footage is going to be a price point of 299. So that's kind of pushing it back a little bit more too, but yeah, we're pretty much right on the spot. 435 per square foot. That's what's telling us over here. Redfin, Zillow, they do the homework for us. So I'm like, all I have to do is confirm, can the property sell for 430? Can it sell for more? Can it sell for less? So it's literally based on the comps that I pulled, it's right on the spot at 435. So if that's my ARV and the property is selling, let's go back to our subject property. So if our property is selling for 319, 1450 square foot home, going back to it again, let's look into what the property actually needs. And if we look into it, the property is definitely going to need some walls, paint, flooring. Um, it's definitely going to need a new kitchen, bathroom. What else? Definitely a new water heater. I see the water heater right there. Um, lighting, skylights, at all as well too. What else does it need? Bathroom's already in there. Gotta check on the pipe because I see some water damage. I'm not sure something happened with like the roof. Probably have to do like an AC as well too because I don't see an AC over here at all whatsoever. So add that. That's probably gonna be an extra $5,000 into it. So windows as well too. So this is again, this could be definitely a full gut job just because I see some mold, some walls are just falling up off as well too. So we have to like kind of like check it out and make sure there's nothing going on. So it's definitely going to be like a full gut job property. So again, going back to the prices of repairs, $95,000. But let me make some adjustments right here on my ARV. So if my property can sell for $435,000. It's a full gut job property. It usually gut job properties take between 4 to 5 months, maybe 6 months to like get it fixed up. So we're in May. By the time it gets put out there on the market back again, we're talking about December at this point, November, December time frame. A lot of people don't buy usually around that time. Usually around this time in Coachella, it gets really cold as well too. Um, so, well, I think it does actually, because I think it's higher up there in like in the mountain or it just gets windier. So that's the time from that I gotta look for into it. And if we're trying to fix and flip this deal around that time, and by the time it sells as well too, probably gotta give it like 2 more months. We're talking about like January, February of next year. Hopefully the rates are a lot better. We can probably push this to a lot more on the price point. Honestly, we can probably push it to like 450 just because again we have to estimate on how much it can be sold for at the time that we're going to be able to like list it on the market. But if we're to buy right now, this is our ARV, our repairs of $95,000. Our some investors are going to be are looking to purchase this property close to this price point, $210,000, $238,000. Some of the one's going to be conservative, one's going to be very aggressive, and they're trying to make their 20% profit, so close to like $65,000, $70,000 in their profit. But again, it has to make sense in the numbers, and then just on the comps that I was able to find, that's our ARV. But at the same time, we're taking a high risk because this is going to be a property that's going to need a lot more into like the investment, and I'm playing it safe on those repairs. I'm here in California, this gets expensive, so honestly, we can probably be pushing it to like $100,000 if anything. So there you go, 1,050. So that's going to push our price point or our investors' purchase price a lot lower. So we have to get on the contract for a lot lower than this. And if you go through the CRM, there's a calculator over here. So let's go through the spectrum of the investors' side. So the property can sell for $435,000. Their seller is looking for 319,900. So let's go back here, 319,900. So the first step is get the asking price, which you already know, but find the motivation. Like, how motivated is the seller trying to sell already? And this property has been sitting already for how long? 30 days. Not too bad, but right now they should be doing a price adjustment at this point. Repairs, we estimated, I'm gonna go in the middle, so like $98,000 worth of repairs. I'm trying to fix and flip, so it's gonna be 70%. There's my potential offers. But now, let's say I'm able to get it, like I'm the investor and I'm able to get it like under contract to what am I looking for? 235? 235, 235. Pay the closing costs, the seller's closing costs. I do the repairs. My total, all the initial investment is $356,000. But once I'm able to sell the property, hopefully I'm able to sell it for more around the time. Subtract the agent fee, the closing costs all over again. My revenue is going to be 395, but my initial investment of $356,500, I'm only left with only $39,000. Over here, it did show that it could potentially be 65 to like $70,000, but the realistic thing is this is going to be the realistic number right over here, only $40,000. $40,000 to wait on a project that's going to sell between 6 to 9 months. That's pushing it a little bit too much as well too. Maybe some investors out there that buy in Riverside County or Coachella area that are pretty satisfied, it will definitely be more ideal. But just because of the area, and I'm seeing from my the research that I was just doing, there's other properties that are being sold. There's new construction happening like down the street as well too. I think it was like right over here in this area. There's some HOAs being built. Like the city is growing, it's expanding. Honestly, this will be more of a strategy. Um, Again, this is going back to what I was touching basis is if I'm trying to like analyze this, I want to analyze it in multiple spectrums, not just wholesaling, not wholetailing, not just fixing and flipping, but maybe doing like a seller finance or doing like a buy and hold. That'll be my go strategy for this type of property based on the location, and based on the time frame that it's going to take for it to like get it fixed up. Honestly, this is going to be more of a buy and hold or work with the seller directly on seller financing, but of course, try to negotiate in terms. So buying and holding is playing that tax game, and the repairs I can do less. I can spend less money on the repairs as well too. I can probably push it to like $80,000, maybe honestly less. It's always best to like push it as less as possible. Just do like the minimal stuff and rent it out, and that'll be where I will want to do into like this deal. And as you can see, just by changing the strategy, maybe reducing like the repairs, the type of things that I have to do into like the property, I'm already getting a good amount of a profit off the bat because the property's value is going to come in higher, and what's selling and happening in the area is going to bring more value into the property. So whenever you're looking into a deal, don't just look into like wholesaling, because again, there's other strategies that you can do. It's just some of these other strategies are definitely like fixing and flipping, buy and hold are going to be requiring like some external money or private lending. So you can work with an investor, play the long-term game as well with them. and try to figure out how much can the property rent out as well too. And also, if you want to do seller finance, and that's going to be a whole different thing. But for me, whenever I look into a deal, I look at not just one strategy. I like to overanalyze it because, again, if one strategy doesn't work and my offer is too low, I don't want to miss on an opportunity where there's another investor that is doing like other creative deals or doing like multiple strategies. That will be like one that I want to like learn more about and actually innovate, or and also just try to get understanding where those numbers come into play. But it's always good to like expand your arsenals. It does take a long time learning all this, but it's just sometimes when the numbers don't work in one strategy, they will definitely work on another strategy at all whatsoever. It's just especially when it comes to real estate, you can definitely make it work with this. So the only thing that I have to look for, if this is like a buy and hold or like a seller finance, it definitely has to be the rental side of it. And then if we look at the rental of it, let's go back here. Let's go for rent. How much properties are being rented out for? Oh, there's one in our area. 4 bedroom, 2 bath. Look at that. 4,500 in the same neighborhood that our property is located. Here we go. $4,500 a month. Bam. There you go. And again, you see, you don't have it doesn't have to be too crazy of a work. It's just walls, paint, keep a minimal flooring. They just did tile, whatever is cheapest thing. Honestly, when it comes to rentals, LVP is always gonna be best. Kitchen, nothing too crazy. It's just still that old brown color. Countertops, you can do granite countertops, so you can do like the rental granite tops, which are gonna be a little bit cheaper. Uh, and bring it furnished. Bathroom, nothing too crazy at all whatsoever. So yeah, this is pretty much what we have to do to our property. And this is a great example, and it's in the same neighborhood as ours. So it's only been on the market for 14 days. Only one person had reached out. So there's interest going on. But again, by the time we get it fixed up, that's where we have to bring it up as well too. What about other units over here? 690. Oh, how big is our bedroom, our property? I think it was like 3 bedroom, 1450. 1450, 6 bedrooms as well too. That's a big home. Let's look for houses. See how much houses are going for. Lowest I'm seeing is 4.2. Oh, this is a 2 level. Here we go. Another one, $4,500. So $4,500 a month type of property. Let me go through the rental calculator. How much is our seller asking for? 320. Yeah, I'm gonna put 320. Seller's asking $320,000. Awesome. I'm gonna be working with the seller directly. Down payment, I'll probably do like 10% on the down payment. There we go, 10%. Interest rates right now are going up for whatever reason. Closing costs probably 2 to 4%. So total initial investment $44,000 plus the 95,000, the 80,000, 60 to $80,000 worth of repairs. But our property, I don't have 6 bedrooms over here, so I'm gonna go with what was that other one? 4 bedrooms. Oh, I don't think I have a 4 bedroom property here. I'm gonna go with I'll just like any random one, honestly. Now rent's gonna be $4,500 a month because again, once it gets fixed up, it's just the value is gonna be bigger from there. Let's see. Oh, so let me actually make this. Sorry, I have to do this 44,800 plus $80,000. 124,800. 124,800. 124. Oh, there you go. Awesome. So 124,800 is going to be my initial investment because again, I have to do the repairs. Again, this when it comes to buying and holding, it's going to be a long-term thing. So it's going to be buying and holding for the tax benefits of it. If I'm renting it out for 4,500, I live in California, but I'm not gonna be driving to collect the rent all the way out there, and so I'm probably gonna have like a property management. So if I have a property management, I'm gonna stick to that 40% rule. If I'm gonna be managing the property myself, that I can bring down that expense on that management fee down to like 30%. Usually management fee or property management is like 10%. Then from here, I cut down my expenses. I can break down my expenses. My expenses are going to be taxes, insurance. There's no HOA, so that's good. Maintenance, vacancy, and the property management overall. I can break it down to the dollar of it, but I'm just going to stick to my standard 40% rule so that way I can overestimate. My expenses. So the way this works is I have my gross income. My gross income comes from my rent. So I have my rent, I subtract my expenses, and that's going to give me a net operating income of $32,400. Now, my next biggest expense that I am going to have after all this is definitely going to be my mortgage, or how much basically I'm going to be how much I'm going to be financing this property for. Um, so let's go back to here. What was it? 10%. So if I were to put 10% down, my monthly payments could be $2,000. So 2,000 times the 12 months is going to be a total, aka debt service or mortgage. They're both the same thing. It's going to be $25,000 worth of it. Um, and then the property is gonna right now it says that it's cash flowing, but honestly, it's not gonna be cash flowing because we're gonna be spending $80,000. So the first couple years is not gonna be cash flowing at all whatsoever. It's not gonna be until year 5, year 6, 8, depending on how rates go as well too, interest rates. That's when the property is where you is gonna be cash flowing overall if we have to do anything into like this property. Um, so the numbers are a little bit off just because of that, again, of that extra, what was it, that extra expense that we have, which is going to be like the which is going to be the repairs. So it's just the property's not going to be cash flowing. I just know it already. It's just the numbers are not understanding that at the moment overall. But that's going to be pretty much how much I'm going to be making on this deal so far. 32 minus the 25, so it's going to be I'm going to be making like $5,000 a year on this property. But again, I know it's not going to be making anything because we have to spend $80,000 to like update it. But that's just a little quick understanding on like doing that other strategy of buying and holding. And again, we have a comp in our neighborhood. We have some other ones in the area around the same. The smallest one is this one, 3.8. Oh, this is a nice one. But it does have a pool. This should be going for more if it has like a pool. Because some of these other ones, I don't think they even have a pool. Oh yeah, they do have a pool. So they're pushing it. So this person is they're trying to bring the rents down in this area. Man, what about this one? 3.3, 2,000. Oh, okay. So something's happening up here in this area overall. 3,300 for this whole 2,000 square foot home too. So it's a lot bigger than ours. So I don't know what's going on up here, if there's like something going on, but over here, these people are playing it more safe, and it looks like there's more interest. But that's pretty much it. And so I'm gonna leave it open for some Q&A if you guys have like any specific questions overall, in terms of like fixing, flipping, wholesaling, real estate, whatever it is. You guys have the mic, or you can drop your questions. Um, if I don't have money for down payment, if you don't have money for down payment, then that's why you have to go through private lending. So you have to work with a private lender, someone who's willing to like invest. You have to like pitch them, let them know what the interest will be. Um, and how much interest you have to like get from their side as well too. So you can make the deal work. It's just you have to get the money from somebody else. But because you're getting the money from somebody else, then they're gonna want to interest on that. So you definitely have to you have to again understand how private lending works and how to negotiate with that, and also how much you're borrowing and what interest it is as well too, and also depending on the strategy. So um, if you don't have like the money down, then it's somebody else will have it, but you have to bring partner up with them, uh, and let them know what the goal is as well too, if they're interested on it. But you have to bring them like the full analysis, not just that, but the opportunity, and see if it makes sense to them overall. But great question. Great question. Any other questions? You guys should be able to unmute yourselves. How many people? Oh, it's only one more person. Any other questions by any chance? Nothing. Wholesaling, investing, flipping, holding, seller financing, creative financing.
For example, I faced only with flipping,
I'm sorry?
but I faced only with flipping,
Uh-huh.
but I never faced with wholesaling and other creative financial, I have to say, creative finance
Mm-hmm.
from seller or from any other strategies. So it will be nice to know about this.
Yeah, I mean, going over the topic is it's gonna be like a couple more hours to that. And so it's just doing like your research. I'll say start looking into how those strategies work. Because the more strategy, each strategy is gonna have its own language, it's gonna have its own analysis. So it does take some time for you to learn it, grasp it, and then fully get to like know how it actually works. Just like it took me like a while for me to learn it as well too. So when it comes to those strategies, it's learn them first, understand like the language, and then if you find like deals that it works best to it, the easiest one is pretty much the seller finance one. The seller finance is I can explain that in like in 5 to 10 minutes, and pretty much it goes like this: is you have a property, the seller is interested in selling. Maybe you walk like the properties in the neighborhood that you live in, so you know the neighborhood very well. And the seller's interested on selling like the property. They're talking to some agents, or maybe you have like a flyer from an agent that's selling like coming soon or something, at all whatsoever. And so you go up to like the seller and let him know, hey, Mr. Seller, if you're interested, I'm willing to buy like your property. Um, with the seller finance, and I'll buy your property with terms. And basically what you're doing is you're making the homeowner the bank. So instead of going through the bank of getting finance money at all whatsoever, what you're telling the homeowner is I'll buy your property for X amount. It's usually going to be a little bit more than what they're going to be what they're selling the property for, because if you go the traditional route of a bank, so here, I'm gonna give you some numbers as an example. I think I have it right here. So I have a seller finance calculator. So the way it goes is, let's say a homeowner is interested in selling their home for $450,000. You go through the traditional route of a bank, is you're going to take a 30-year mortgage. They have to go through your bank statements. They have to go through your income statements. They have to make sure that you have been employed for 2 years. So you have to bring all of these documents just so you can get a proof runner rate. If it's going to be a conventional loan, right now, conventional loans are like 7.2% interest rate at a 30-year mortgage. Your monthly payment, this is just principal interest. There's no taxes, insurance, nothing at all whatsoever. It's just your monthly payment with the loan. It's going to be 2443. Again, not including everything else. The total amount of interest that you're going to be paying on this property, going the traditional route, is you're going to paying $430,000 worth of interest. So overall, the whole property in 30 years, it costs you $879,000. Now, what you can do with the homeowner is, hey, Mr. Homeowner, instead of me going the traditional route, what I can do is I can make you the bank. So instead of me going through the bank trying to get approved for an interest rate of 7.2, I rather buy your property. You can tell them I'm willing to buy your property for $470,000, so $20,000 more, or $480,000. Instead of doing the $90,000 payment, the seller finance is usually recommended to stick to like 0% to like 10% on the down payment. So what that would look like, if you're buying the property for, let's say, they like the deal of 480, uh, off the bat, they're gonna want a down payment. Again, stick to the most, it's gonna be up to 10%. So you go up to like 10%. So now you have to get $4,800. And the interest rate, of course, the goal on the interest rate, You can mention it, or if they don't mention it at all, then it's always best is same thing. It's gonna go start from zero all the way up to like try to go up to like 5%. That'll be like the most, because again, the strategy with seller financing is you're gonna be renting out the property to like somebody else, or if you want it, if you're trying to buy like the property for yourself, try to move into like a better property, then you can rent out the property for like yourself as well too. Um, and the thing with this is you want to make sure that the rate, if anything, again, zero. But let's say they're like, you know what, I like the fact of 5%. Let's stick to 5%. Now, the thing is, when it comes to like the property, we see how much the monthly payment is. Okay, so if I buy your property for $480,000, I give you $48,000 down payment right now, 5% interest. Um, it's gonna you are gonna have like a number of $2,300. So it's like, look, I'm willing to make monthly payments to you of $2,300. But the thing is, you want to negotiate down from there. So you, because again, this could be like a thing of putting the pressure into like the seller, Mr. Homeowner, how much would you want each single month? Um, you're trying to bring it down because let's say the how we were just checking out the properties over here in Coachella, the properties are being rented out for $4,500. I see some of them over here close to like 33, 32. So I'm average it out. I'm gonna say $3,500 that the properties are being rented out for. So if the properties are being rented out, if your strategy is to rent it out to somebody else, and that's the most common thing when it comes to seller financing is, and you're renting out the property with the homeowner directly for $2,300, you're making $1,200 profit off the bat. Um, and from there, of course, like we're not including tax, insurance, anything on property management. If you're gonna have another property management involved into it, but again, I'm open to negotiating this. So, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm willing to make you monthly payments of like $2,000. So $2,000, and they're gonna ask you like, well, in how long can you pay off like the entire home? And usually with this is taking between 10 to 15 years. So let's go. I'll pay off your home in 10 years off the bat. Of course, this number is going to change, but I'm going to scroll down to where it will all make sense. So my final offer was 480. The homeowner wanted $48,000 down. My term is 10 years, and my monthly payment, we agreed up to like $2,100 each single month. What the strategy with seller financing is, you're making the monthly payments to the homeowner directly. You put a down payment to the homeowner directly. You made the homeowner the bank directly. So you don't have to get approved for a loan. You don't have to show documents of income, bank statements, proof that you worked at your current or previous job for 2 years. And in 10 years, that's the strategy over here. In 10 years, is the property going to be worth more than $480,000? Or in this case, you have to pay off the loan or whatever is left over with the homeowner. Whatever the balance left over is $180,000. Because the way this goes is, if you're making each single month $2,100 monthly payments times 12 months times 10 years, you made $252,000 dollars worth of payments, minus the 480 that you bought the property for, or minus 480, but you actually already put $48,000 down into it as well too. That's what the number comes in. At the 10-year mark point, you have to pay the homeowner upfront $180,000 of their money, because that's what you guys agreed upon. Like before or at the 10-year mark, you're gonna pay off whatever the balance is, you're gonna be paying off that whatsoever. But the thing is, what you want to do in 10 years is you're going to be doing a cash out refi. So let's say the property is worth in 10 years, I'm going to go up like 20%. So 480, 4, oh, yeah, I'll say like 15, no, I'm going to play it safe, 10%. So the property is going to be worth like $535,000. You could do a cash out refinance, depending on how much the rates are gonna be. There's not gonna be any loans like on the property, and the bank's gonna give you 70% of it, 75%. So $374,000 is going to be what's going to be available to you from the bank because again, yes, you are refinancing the property, making like a new rate, but the thing is you all want to make sure that you're at a lower rate as well too from what you started at. And then from there, you pay off the homeowner the $180,000, and then whatever's left over, you do the investment all over again to other properties. So, but the main concept of it when it comes to seller financing is you're making the homeowner the bank directly. By you're creating the terms, but you also negotiating the terms with the homeowner. Because that you can do that with cars, you can do that with or any motor vehicle, you can do that with any home, you can do that with like a lot of things. So it's kind of like the buy now, pay later type of thing. And then pay later with the homeowner is going to be, I'll pay you later, whatever. I'll make the monthly payments, but whatever the balance is left, I'll pay off that later on in the future. But because when it comes to real estate, it picks up in value overall. That's going to be like the major thing. Not a lot of people want paid later. They want well, that's where the down payment comes into play. You're paying like you asking the homeowner directly, how much do you want for how much down payment do you need at the moment right now? Because again, I'm buying the property in terms. I'm gonna be making monthly payments to you as well too. So monthly payments and the down payment. So all the cash is going directly to them. Not only that, but there's also going to be interest rate. There's going to be interest on that as well too. So again, you just have to make them understand that they're the bank at that point, if that makes sense. So again, I don't expect for you to just understand it in just this conversation. It just takes multiple times for you to like analyze it, like understand it, see where it comes from. But not every seller is going to be interested on it or open to it. But that's because it just comes down to like how you're explaining it to them. But there's going to be a lot of them that are going to be interested. Just as many as that are not going to be interested, there's going to be as many that are going to be interested because some of them just want the money. They just don't want to deal with the property anymore. There's so many reasons out there at all whatsoever. And so it's just again study it. That's just one of the strategies as well too. There's other things that there's sometimes you have to be involved with the mortgage. So that's doing a different that's a doing like a different type of strategy as well too. So there's so many things, but you just start learning into it so that way you can get an understanding on how it works. But the main thing that it works with this is pretty much renting it out to somebody else. Where again, I was mentioning if the market in the area is $4,500 and again, you have a property management manager yourself as well too. You're gonna have what else? Another 15% from maintenance, vacancy, and other things. And then again, you're agreeing with the homeowner directly to paying $2,100 each single month. Again, $1,200, like $1,342 is gonna be your profit each single month. So it's just profitable. It's just you have to make it work and the numbers have to make sense. But again, you have to work with the seller directly. And then what seller is not going to be agreeing to overpay when they're selling the property for 450 and somebody comes in for $480,000, but they're making them the bank. There's going to be people that are going to be interested in that. And again, it really has to make sense as well too. You can go up to like $500,000 if you want to overall. So it just really depends on where you want to be. But again, the numbers have to make sense on your side as well too.
So do we have also closing costs during this seller finance?
Yes. So the way it's gonna go is if there's an agent involved, but the closing costs are not gonna be it's not gonna be the regular closing costs that you're gonna have of like 2 to 4%. It's gonna be like a lot less from that. It just depends on where you're doing like your deals at. Because the property has to go through title. So you have to go through title because you're going through you're doing a purchase agreement on the homeowner, but there's going to be terms to it. Because again, the title company is the one who handles the funds, the down payment as well too, as well, and then the monthly payments is going to be directly to like the homeowner. So, but everything has to go through title.
So this is strategy with holding. What about flipping? It's also possible to do seller finance, but for flip
So
project.
that's good. With fixing and flipping, that's private lending. So you're working with a private lender to give you like the money. So you're borrowing money from somebody else, but you have to, again, it has to make sense on how much profit you're gonna be making because part of the interest that you have to pay is gonna come out from your pocket whatsoever. So here, let me give you an example. Let's see if I have it available. Ba-bum. Where's mine? Here we go. So here we go. Here's mine. Here's my private lending section. So going back to the same example, that same property that we were looking at from Coachella, the property can sell for 435,000. I need about um yeah, 75,000. That's fine. Let's go with this. Trying to fixing and flipping it. I get on the I'm gonna go with the highest 252. So we'll negotiate a little bit down. All right, so here's a couple things to understand. So the property based on the ARV, it's selling for 74 cents on the dollar. I don't like that. I need to push that. I need to push it down to like between 40 to 60 cents on the dollar. I need to push it down below that. So getting it at $250, $252,000, that's getting me at 58 cents on the dollar. I like that a lot better off the bat. 74 cents on the dollar, no. Closing costs. Again, I'm gonna tell this a homeowner like, hey, I'm willing to pay your closing costs. That way it's a lot easier for you. You don't have to worry. That's more money for you on your side. Repairs. So my all initial investment is $352,000. So if I don't have the money for this, then that's where I have to go to a homeowner or a private lender, and then right over here. This is my private lending box. I need to borrow $352,200 from a private lender or somebody else who has the money. Of course, they're gonna want a good interest rate. Usually could be between 8 to 15, 16%. I'll say 12% for right now. Because like California is going to be a little more expensive. I'm able to get it down, cool, but I'm just trying to play it safe for right now. So if I borrow from a private lender $352,000 at 12%, um, if it takes me 12 months for me to sell the property, I have to pay $42,000 worth of interest. The property that we were just looking at, I was estimating it's going to take about 8 months, maybe 9 months to like sell. So that's going to be close to like $31,000 worth of profit. $31,000 worth of interest. But then now, if I look down on my numbers right over here on the bottom side, I sell my property for 435. We have to pay the agent fees. If there's two agents involved, that's 5% or 2.5% each. Closing costs again. My revenue is going to be 395 minus my initial upfront money that I borrowed, 352. It leaves me with $43,650 worth of profit. But then out of that profit, I got to subtract what I owe on the interest. So 43 minus that 31, it leaves me with a $11,952 profit. It took me 9 months for me to sell that deal. So each single month I made 1328 per month. So is that going to be like a good deal both for yourself and also for or let me ask you, who's going to be benefiting more on this deal? Is it going to be me? Is it going to be my experience, or is it going to be the person that lent me the money?
The last one.
The person that lend me the money?
Yes.
Yeah, they're the ones. They're making $31,000 just in interest itself. And that's because again, we agreed on that interest. But what did I gain from this? I definitely gained some experience. I definitely gained some knowledge on maybe what should I do, what should I not do on the fix and flip. But I was given that opportunity. So honestly, everybody won on this deal. Yes, the lender won on the interest side, but I gained the experience. And not only that, but I also built a trust, a relationship and a trust with this lender that if I bring them another deal, they're gonna easily let me borrow the money, and maybe we can negotiate on the numbers as well too. Maybe they're gonna be open, more interested on renegotiating as well too, or maybe I'll bring the offer like, hey, can we bring down the interest down to like 10%? Then now I'm gonna be making some profit on the next deal, and then you know what? Let's just leave it at 10%. That I'm really satisfied with that, and I know you're gonna be satisfied with that, and then I'm gaining experience on that whatsoever. So.
In this table, you didn't calculate that it's also additional for rehab. We need to get money for the rehab. And another one that usually hard money lenders, they borrow not 100%, they borrow only 70-80% of purchase price.
I'm not talking about hard money lenders. I'm talking about private lenders.
Private lenders, they usually they will not give you 300,000.
You don't know
Very
that.
rare. Maybe
It's all about looking out there.
maybe
Like I
I
said,
didn't find
it only takes one person to it. You only have to find one. So it's not that it's possible. There's 360 million people living in the United States. So you can definitely find the money, and how many billionaires and millionaires out there. It's all about just finding the right person. So. And then you mentioned something else, some other costs?
yeah, for the
The what?
rehab for the construction cost.
The repairs are right here.
It repairs.
Yeah,
Okay.
the repairs are right here. So the all initial investment is purchase price, closing costs, repairs, all of it. That 352 is everything that it's included in there. So like I said, when you're looking for private lending, it's not a hard money lender. You're not going through the traditional that route whatsoever. I'm talking about private lenders, like other investors that might be interested on real estate. They just have cash laying around whatsoever. It's just bringing in the opportunity. Of course, like I said, your first deal is going to be the most expensive deal at all whatsoever. So like I said, I was just playing it safe by saying 12%. They might want that full 15%, 16% out of the deal. But again, on your side, you're going to be gaining more of experience. And so, like I said, if there's excuses to be made, then there's gonna be excuses to be made, but it's all about how you're talking into it, how you're building the relationships, and also just working them out. And it has to make sense. Like I said, it has to make sense for you. What are you getting out of it? And it has to make sense on who you're borrowing it from as well too.
Okay, the question is where I can find these people who can borrow 300.
Facebook groups. There's a lot of Facebook investor groups out there. Literally type in private lending, 100%
Usually,
private lending on Facebook. You're gonna come across multiple Facebook groups, posts about that. You can use PropWire to look for investors. PropWire is complete for free. Look for lead types. You can look for cash buyers. You can look for flip properties. Um, so there's a lot of ways to like looking for like a lot of buyers out there.
yeah, in Facebook, for example, I found a lot of gators. So they are usually kind of connectors. Most of them, they are just connectors. They have access to the lenders who can lend, but they also charge some money or fee to connect me with people who has money. They also charge additional fee for this. It means that my profit will increase and increase.
Yeah, so
Sorry,
it's like
not decrease,
paying.
not decrease, decrease.
Yeah, your profits are going to be decreasing, but again, that's if that's the route that makes a sense for you to get access to instantly, that makes sense. But if you don't want to pay that, then it's just move on to finding somebody who is your direct source from there.
Okay, I think it's big homework to find lenders.
Yeah, yeah. It takes research. So the information is out there. You can purchase leads, contact informations for 10 cents, 12 cents. You can go through truepeoplesearch.com and do it for free. It's going to take a little bit longer, but you're able to get directly to the person that you're trying to get bring the opportunity over to. But again, it's just bring opportunities, let them know that you're trying to partner up with them, you're trying to build a relationship, trying to build a trust, trying to build this business. They, if they have the cash available, they're gonna bring it over to you. Of course, it's gonna be on their terms as well too. And the first one is always gonna be the most expensive, but you're gonna gain a hell of a lot more of experience just by having and getting that exposure at all whatsoever. What's going to be better? By having the relationship and not only that, but also building the trust that someone that is willing to like lend you multiple times, or just trying to worry more on your profit at all whatsoever. So that's just something that you have to do research and do some homework on yourself. But like again, just there's gonna be a lot of opportunities out there, and you just have to find the right person. It takes some searching. It takes some searching.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, there's somebody else over here, so I thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys coming in. The next episode is going to be on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you guys happen to come back, by all means, come back with your questions, properties, or anything else related about real estate. And I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have a blessed day, okay?